Quick disclaimer, other than what has been expressly stated by Bethesda up to this point, everything in this video is speculation. Also, keep in mind that this video contains footage of the beginning of Fallout 4, which is rated M, and some early footage of Fallout 76, which will more than likely be rated M as well. Hello everyone. Since all the news and excitement about the upcoming Fallout 76 has been going around, I've been playing some Fallout 4 again. That inspired me to make a fun little video about what we might see in 76, based on what we know already and what we've seen from the series so far. First, let's cover all the news for those of you who haven't been keeping up with it to this point. On May 29, 2018, the official Bethesda Game Studios account on Twitter tweeted out an animation of a rather colorful variant of the RCA television test pattern, with the text portion of the tweet reading #PleaseStandBy. This was obviously a sign of something Fallout related to come, which was more than likely going to be shown off by Bethesda at E3, an event that was approaching very soon. It turns out we would be seeing more of this game much sooner than expected, with the official Fallout Twitter releasing a teaser of the upcoming Fallout game the following day. It was in this teaser that the title was revealed as Fallout 76. There was a ton of speculation as to whether this would be some kind of spin-off or full-fledged entry in the series, but fans would have to wait just a little while longer to find out. When June 10th rolled around, it was time for both Microsoft and Bethesda's big press conferences at E3. Surprisingly, at the Microsoft show, Fallout 76 received a much more substantial trailer than the one previously shown, with Bethesda's Todd Howard promising more at their show later that night. And Todd was right, they definitely delivered. After showing the trailer once again, they revealed a lot about the game, so let's take an unscripted look at what the new game will have to offer. It was confirmed at E3 that the game will launch on November 14th, 2018, and that will be on all the major platforms, so PlayStation 4, Windows PC, and Xbox One. The only thing that excludes is the Nintendo Switch. As far as story details, it was confirmed, and I believe this has been confirmed for a while, but the game will take place in West Virginia. This was hinted at, of course, by the use of Take Me Home Country Roads in every single trailer, so I believe it is the earliest game in the series. It takes place 25 years after the nuclear detonation, so it'll be interesting to see how things are very early on after the bombs dropped. Now, the big controversy over this game, and I wouldn't say so much controversy actually, as much as debate and skepticism, it all stems from the fact that, yes, this game will be multiplayer, and that's a first for Fallout, and people really aren't sure how to react to that, and I can say I feel the same way. I'm really not sure how they're gonna do that, especially since Bethesda doesn't really work with multiplayer. They've always done single-player RPGs. It might be tough for them to, successfully adapt that series that has only been single-player so far into a multiplayer series. But we really don't know at this point, so who's to say? It could be one of the best multiplayer games out there, and the idea of a multiplayer Fallout isn't so bad. First off, Todd Howard said that the game will be entirely online, and by that, you can play solo, but I don't think it'll be as good of an experience if you play solo, and you have to kind of be online all the time to have the true Fallout 76 experience, and I don't know, the always online thing is a little weird to me, because there are games that have online features, say like Destiny, and after their servers are shut down, you can't really play that game anymore. Like, say you could still play an NES game, but you can't play games like that. And there have been games that have been shut down, their servers have been shut down, and they're just not available anymore, and they're just kind of lost. And I don't really know how to feel about that. I'm sure you can play solo after all of that is over, and that'll be years down the line, of course, but as someone who's interested in the preservation of games, it's a little frightening to me. Now, apparently there will be PvE and PvP, so in case you don't know what that is, that's player versus player and player versus environment. Player versus environment would probably be the closest to what we know from Fallout so far, so you'll have, your creatures and all that stuff, but PvP is new territory for Fallout. Of course, you had human enemies in the game, but this is player versus player, so you're going against actual people playing. And personally, I would rather just explore the environment on my own. Apparently, you can choose between PvP and PvE, so if you don't want to do PvP, you don't have to. And I feel like a lot of these features will be do it if you want kind of things. and you will have the option to choose if you want to opt in or opt out. Knowing how I like to play, I'm not a huge fan of online multiplayer games. I've had fun with them, but I just don't play them a lot. And the way I play personally, I will probably do PvE with just a few friends if that's an option. And really, me getting this game depends on if that's an option. I would love to play a Fallout game with a few friends, 2 or 3, and just have fun with that. But I don't like the idea of playing with randos so much. You know, there's the fact that anybody you encounter in an online game could have terrible intentions, such as trying to kill you, or take your stuff, or whatever. So, again, knowing how I play, I will probably avoid any of that if possible. A few things that are different. First off, the camp system, or construction and assembly mobile platform, and that is basically kind of like a base, like a home base, and it loads into the game whenever you start playing. So I believe it says here that you load into your last location, and if somebody is already there, you can choose where you want to set up your camp. So that's pretty interesting, but what I would like to know is if people can access your camp. And again, this goes back to the whole thing of, obviously people online will mess with your stuff, that's just the way it is. So we just don't know enough at this point to tell, and obviously this is a new thing for Bethesda because they don't really work with online games. And they stated that at E3, and I think that eased people's nerves a bit because they said, you know, this is new for us too. We're kind of working through the kinks with this. But then again, it's not very comforting at the same time, if that makes any sense, because this is a team without much experience online. I've restated that quite a bit, but that's a very important thing to note, is that they don't have much experience online, and I guess Fallout would be a pretty good way to do that. I mean, I would hope that they would try it out on something that was less renowned and popular, because if they mess this up, I don't think the fans would forget that. PvE looks to have quite a few more enemies, and that's pretty interesting. I'm excited to see the new, like, mutated enemies and things like that. One of the big things they announced are nuclear missile sites, and this has been a controversial little thing. So apparently you can pick up these missile keys and they're dropped by enemies. You can nuke certain places. I'm not sure if it's certain places or random places. I'm going to put that up on screen, whether or not it is. This has caused a lot of anxiety as to, well, what are people going to be able to nuke? Will they be able to nuke my stuff? Again, it's just something that we're going to have to see maybe when the beta is released, and maybe when Bethesda reveals more information. And it could be a good thing, but I'm a little nervous about it. One thing that's good is that your base kind of packs up with you when you go offline. So when you go offline, you don't have to worry about people messing with your base, which is definitely a plus. Bethesda did announce a few additions. Of course, with almost any big game nowadays, they're going to have a few additions, like collector's editions and such. And the Power Armor edition is the $200 one, and it's kind of the big collector's edition of this game. And they show that it will have a full-size, really nice-looking T-51 Power Armor helmet, and that looks really neat. I probably won't be getting that. I only really get a collector's edition if it's something I'm super excited about. And with Fallout 76, I'm not sure yet. I mean, the Power Armor helmet would be great to have, just to have it, but I want to see if the game is worth it as well. One aspect of the game is the VAT system, and the VAT system has always been a big deal in Fallout. It's the system that allows you to choose a body part to target when in combat. So apparently now it does not slow down time, but you'll still be able to pick body parts. The big deal with the VAT system was always that it kind of slowed down time for you, so you could decide what to pick and you could kind of think about what you were doing. So again, I mean, it's something that's hard to do in a multiplayer game. Obviously you can't slow down time for everyone every time somebody uses VATs, because that would just be insane. I don't know, it could work, it couldn't. Again, it's just, there's so much with this game that's hard to tell so early on. Bethesda has always made really great games, and I don't want to get my hopes up too much, and I don't want to put down the game too much, because again, we haven't seen a whole lot of the game yet. So it's a little bit too early to judge most of the stuff about the game. So I believe as time goes on throughout the year, before release, we will get bits and pieces of information, and the beta will reveal a whole lot. I'm cautiously optimistic. I hope this game will be great. I have a lot of faith in Bethesda because, for the most part, they do a really great job. I'm excited to see what will come of this game. And you know, if this doesn't work out, if the whole online thing doesn't work out, of course, they will probably move back to the traditional way of making Fallout games. So either way, I think things will turn out okay. Anyway, that's all for this video. This was a very informal video, but a more traditional one will be coming very soon. If you enjoy this kind of thing, let me know. I'm always looking for feedback, and I really want to know what you guys think. So, as always, thank you for watching, and I will see you next time.